Okay, good morning, everyone. Let's just check here. We're live. Awesome. Welcome to Coffee with Colleen and Kate. And I am Colleen with the company called Monkeys and Hats, digital marketing and e-commerce websites. And my fabulous co-host is
Kate Holmes from Too Good to Be Through. I'm delighted to be here today with you. What are we talking about today, Colleen?
Today we are actually talking about educating consignors on what to bring and what not to bring. And while we're talking today, everyone, I was curious this morning when I was making my coffee, like, what does everyone drink in the morning? So when you chime in to say hello, let us know what you drink in the morning, just for something kind of fun. Anyway, okay, here we go. Educating consignors. Kate, do you want to kick us off today?
Well, the main reason that it's important to educate consignors is actually two reasons. The first reason, of course, is so that the consignors are happy that they bring in the things that you can accept and that you can sell and make money for them with. The second reason is something that is perhaps a little bit pressing right now. We've been talking about it on Facebook, and that is to cut down on the amount of time that you take dealing with each consignor. We all know that sorting through things that aren't acceptable not only does not make us money, but it costs us money, costs us goodwill, and so on. So it's really, really important to make sure that your potential consignors, your newest ones, and your most established ones know what it is that you believe that you can take. Now, again, I'm really, really all about the wording. So I think we need to stop thinking about what I can take and substitute what our customers want. And if you keep doing that in your brain, when you're talking to your staff, when you're talking to your consignors, you will lose that I, and turn it into a you statement. And that's the major thing, I think, about educating consignors. What do you think, Colleen?
I 1,000% agree. I mean, the reality is that it's not about you. It's really about your customers and your consignors, and you're really just the conduit between the two. And so your job is to help your consignors, educate them on what is really selling, and then provide what your customers need and want. I mean, the reality is it comes down to, marketing 101, find out what's needed and wanted, and, get it to them. But as I was thinking about our topic, one of the things I thought about was, as a store owner, do you know what you want? Do you know really what you want? Do you know what's in? Do you know what's trending right now? Do you know there's a really big shift in furniture right now? Do you know that? Do you know what's on its way out and what's on its way in? And I wonder, Kate, if a lot of store owners have really thought about that question. What do you think?
Well, again, you're saying what you want when you're addressing to shopkeepers. It's not that. It's what your customers want, what will sell.
Well, that's what I mean. So do you know what you want?
No. But it's semantics. It's semantics, and it's a viewpoint.
It is really semantics. It is a viewpoint. So let me rephrase that and say, do you know what your customers want? But in saying, do you know what your customers want? Do you know what you want? But what you want is what your customers want. Like, do you really know what your customers want? Okay, did we get that cleared up now? Because here's my point is that I think when you step back and take a look at how much merchandise you have to mark down and put on clearance, or that if you have an automatic system, an automatic markdown system, if you really take a step back and look at that, could you go through that and say, you know what, we probably really shouldn't have taken this and this and this? Like, can you really identify those items and say, yeah, we probably shouldn't have really taken that. And that's always a question that I, tend to push the envelope and ask. One of the most amazing, I guess, clearance sections I've ever seen in my entire life came out of Cynthia Riley's store. And you might have other experience, Kate, in your vast years, but Cynthia Riley had the single smallest clearance section I've ever seen in my entire life. And I think I've mentioned it before because it was such a wow factor for me. Like, she literally had like the size of a bathroom, like a tiny bathroom that was the size of her clearance. But she was so good at knowing exactly what her customers wanted and only accepting that merchandise that her customers wanted. Like, she knew her customers like the back of her hand and was able to just take that and then communicate that. She had a great way of communicating that to her consignors. So, Kate, how do we communicate that?
Okay, a couple of things. First of all, when you are communicating what it is that the shop can sell as a service to those people who are getting rid of things they no longer dearly love, the first thing you need to do is after saying what my customers want, is to totally eliminate the negatives. So many shops have a list of things they won't take. No dog hairs, no smells, no stains, zippers must work, no missing buttons. Do not do that to your customers. Do not do that to your reputation. Do not do that to yourself. Forget the negatives. No negatives. Focus on the benefits of the consignor, of paying attention to what it is that will sell. For instance, instead of saying things must be on hangers because we're too busy to hang them up, you would say something like, hangers preserve your pressing job. That again tells them that you want things pressed. So no negatives. Concentrate on the benefits to the person who's bringing them in. She'll make more money. And forget the I statements. Go always with the you statements. And the only way we can go with those you statements is to practice them ahead of time. While we're talking about writing about this, what are you writing on? You're writing on your website, you're writing on your Facebook and other social media, you're writing on your blog, and most importantly and most neglected, you're writing on your handout. You want to have something in your store that potential consignors can pick up, take home, read, remind themselves that they did indeed want to clear out that closet, want to clear out that cupboard. So you've got to have a handout. And I'm betting, we got, 10 people watching today? I'm betting that one of you has a handout that's always available in several spots in the store. If anybody does have a handout that people can pick up at the foyer, at the sales desk, in the dressing room area, go ahead and tell us in the comments, because I'm betting that most of you don't. And that is something that I would like to pose to you as a task for this week. Get a handout together that you can give people. Colleen, what do you think? I know you're not big on pieces of paper, but...
Well, there's a time and a place. I mean, there's always a time and a place for everything. And actually, one of the first things we do when we are working with somebody on their marketing, the first thing we do is, that's probably, Kate, next to business cards, that's probably the very first marketing piece that we put together is a handout, how to shop and how to consign with us. And again, we go through and we make it very positive. We don't talk about the negatives. If there's a whole list of negatives on there, we rephrase them. So, instead of saying no dog here, we say dog here free or things like that. Like, there's just always like a way to say things negatively, but what we're really doing is educating our consignors on how to make the most money with their items and how to help your items sell faster, how to make the most money out of your items. Here's how you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to make sure that they're clean and they're pressed and you bring them in on a hanger and that they are smoke free and dog hair free and they're just, absolutely ready to wear, ready to pull off the rack and wear. And so really educating people on how to do that. And the other thing is you want to have a handout, and your handout goes in everything, like everything. It goes in every bag. It goes with every consignor. You can even hand that out, anywhere you're at. But the other thing too is take all of the information that's on your handout and make social media posts of it, and then use a scheduler and pre-schedule those out so you don't have to think about it. But you want that to be on your social media at least 2 to 3 times a month, because you're going to constantly be reminding your existing followers. And remember, with the algorithms, not everybody's going to see every post. So it keeps your information really fresh in front of people's faces. And also, as you get new followers and new customers, you're educating them like right from the get-go. Here's how to get the most money, and here's how to maximize your experience in consigning.
I'm a firm believer in when you sit down to write something or to communicate in any manner, whether it's verbally or online or on paper, think of threes. Rule of 3. That's all that people can get in their brains at one time. So somebody somewhere once in the lost mists of time in the consignment world came up with the rule of 3 for what's saleable in her store, and it was clean, current, and cute. That's 3 things. That's all you need to say. It needs to be clean. Say that first, because that's the most important part. Current, you don't need to say within the last 2 or 3 years or 5 years or whatever, just current. And cute, as in something unusual. Some people change that so it's clean, current, and quality. That works as well. Another rule of 3s is to make a graphic that you can put on your social media 2 or 3 times a month, as Colleen suggests, an actual graphic, because people look at pictures before they read words, and make it 1, 2, 3. Consigning with us is as simple as 1, 2, 3. Number 1, select. Number 2, bring in. Number 3, sit back and collect your money. That's all you need to put. Now, if they're interested, they will read the text that accompanies that graphic. But don't complicate things. Don't make things, 192 words just to tell somebody that things need to be clean. Everybody knows what clean means. Clean means no dog hair. Clean means no boogers, etc. So remember that rule of 3 if you're trying to write something. Think of 3 things to tell people, tell them in the right order, and you're done. You go on with your life.
And absolutely, the whole idea is to keep it simple for you, but keep it simple for your consignors as well. And another just a fun thing that we're doing, because one of our clients, one of our store owners that we're working with, was just getting a lot of people, and this will happen in especially on Facebook, because if your primary target market is on Facebook, that's a little bit older market, and they're going through some life changes, and they might be downsizing. So when they're downsizing from a big home, chances are they have a lot of furniture in there that's been there for quite a long time. And the first impulse is to bring it to the consignment store. And you pretty much don't want to have that kind of furniture. So we started a whole entire campaign called This Not That. And what we do is we take photos of consign this, and we show them the pieces that we do want, and then we do like a not that, and we'll put like old and older pieces, but we give them ideas of what they can do and how they can refurbish those old pieces and turn them into something new, or refurbish them, or repurpose them, or even donate them, of course. But it's just like a fun campaign, and it works really well with furniture. It works really well with clothing as well. You can also, we're doing a lot with like little jars and vases, and people kind of cleaning out all the little tchotchkes around their houses. And again, you can do like this, not that. And you can suggest they use those little tchotchkes and plant succulents in them, because that's a really big thing right now. And use them for all, repurpose them, paint them, spray paint them, do crazy fun things with that stuff. But basically, it's a nice way to be creative and positive without telling people like, no, we don't want that. No, we don't want that. No, we don't want that. And then you can include some of these this, not that graphics in the emails that you send out, because I know by now you're all sending out weekly emails to your database as well, which is a great opportunity to educate your consignors there as well. Now, Kate, what advice do you have for like nonprofits who are in a little bit of a different situation, like where they take everything? I mean, what what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the major thing that you want to tell donors to is if you support our cause, and again, mention your cause, whether it is clothing women who are going back to work, whether it's protecting the animals, whatever the mission of your not-for-profit is, emphasize the fact that if they are donating items that are not resaleable in your shop, all they're doing is costing you money. The dumpster, and I've never seen this done, but I think it'd be kind of cool to take a picture of an overflowing dumpster and actually tell your supporters, it costs us $250 to have the corporation that empties dumpsters come and empty this dumpster. Please help us keep the dumpster as empty as possible. The following items we cannot resell, will not help the animals, will not help the homeless, will not help the vets. And to do a little bit of that, this or that, as Colleen suggests there. But the main emphasis is that most places in America, the person who is in their home, in their residence, they can get rid of things for no extra expense in their garbage disposal. Most commercial businesses have to pay for every pound merchandise that they are disposing of. And that's the main thing. If you give us this broken down old couch that we can't sell, it's going to cost us $22 to get rid of it. That's $22. That is the equivalent of 6 bags of dog food. So that, I think, would be the message for the not-for-profits, where people think they're doing a good deed and they're giving you items which you and they both know are going to end up in the landfill, no matter what anybody.
And Kate, what's your advice? We're seeing a lot of owners right now talking about just sheer inundation of drop-off.
Well, that's a topic, I think, for another day, and that's my topic actually today on my blog. If you do read the Anti-Kate blog, that is my answer today, because everybody's suffering with that and saying they're getting so much stuff in they can't manage it and they can't afford to hire help. That's the topic of my blog post today. While we were talking, I came up with another really good idea for next week. How about next week we talk about what goes in that weekly newsletter? That weekly
that's perfect.
email.
Okay.
Is that a good idea?
That's an excellent idea. What goes in the weekly newsletter?
Both Colleen and I have to write that down because we're not going to remember. So hopefully someone will come on, either one of us, during this week and remind us that that's what we're supposed to be getting together for you for next Tuesday.
All right, so I hope that you found today's episode very helpful and some good helpful tips. Definitely please share any other comments, ideas, thoughts that you have on this topic of educating consignors. And again, I just really want to stress, make sure you know what you want. And by you, I mean what you want based on what your customers want and need and want, because that's what's really, really important, is to really keep in mind what sells in your store. And when you know what sells in your store, you should be able to make very, very quick decisions. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Really, I'm sure there's more people out there, but Cynthia Riley, man, I mean, I have never seen anyone process intake faster. She could probably sell that as a service, to go around and teach intake, because it was amazing, how she processes it. But she would also have to know your customers, because what she processes for her store is going to be different than what you process for your store. But it was the most amazing thing. So anyway, everyone have an amazing week. I hope this was really beneficial. And Kate, what does your mom always say?
Our last words every week are, go out there and sell something.
Bye, everyone. Have a great week.